Matt Lenehan Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store Forged Irish Stout. Eddie, it's absolutely sweating buckets out here in Saudi, absolutely boiling. What an interesting...
Well, it would be indoors, these workouts, do you know what I mean? But
I was praying because last time I think the day of reckoning aircon was on.
Oh no, yeah.
Interesting start to fight week, headbutts getting flown everywhere. Tell me, I know you spoke about it in other interviews, but I haven't asked you yet, so what do you make of that whole scenario? I mean,
I think John shouldn't have done it, right? And I've always joked in the past that he never does anything, so I'm glad he never done it to me. But in that respect, it is out of character of him, because we've never seen him physically touch anyone. We've seen the shirt come off and a lot of stomping around, and now you saw it. And I think it was he shouldn't have done it. I think he's apologised. Emotions run high on these kind of weeks, especially when your son's fighting. And a lot of it, it's our fault that we're putting people in these situations. It's like Catchall against Taylor next week. We've just got to be careful because we want to bring them together, right? The fans want to bring them together. Do the face-offs with Addy. He said that, you said that. What are you going to do about that? He's going to knock you out. He's going to end your career. These guys aren't normal. They're not like you and me that would try and diffuse the situation and, talk amicably about it. They meet confrontation with force. And John he's a retired fighter, but that's what he's about. So, again, you don't want to see it. Hype is good, but at the same time, physical action not so. But let's just get him in the ring and have a great fight Saturday.
I spoke to Tyson Fury yesterday, and I said, one person who's sort of flipped and flapped between his opinion on the fight was yourself. Could you? I did.
And he said, I couldn't give a shit?
No, he said, look, he went on about opinions and things like that. But why did you change your opinion? Is it based on his shape? Because you said you think he wins by stoppage.
Yeah, it's just a 50-50 fight. And me giving my opinion is the same as you giving your opinion. I'm here to, promote Joe Caldina, Jai Opataya, the event for DAZN, His Excellency, whatever they need me for. But for a main event, I'm a fan, right? So,
and I want Fury though, surely for the Joshua.
I want Fury for many reasons. He's British, right? So I always want the Brit to win. 2, I want AJ to fight him for the Undisputed Heavyweight World Championship. And I like Tyson Fury. I also like Alexander Usyk. But in this situation, for many reasons, I back Tyson Fury. I think I spoke to a few people over the last 24 hours here who are all telling me he's in unbelievable shape. He looks the best he's ever looked in training. And if that is the case, I think he wins on Saturday night. But if he's not the same Tyson Fury, if he's a little bit off, Usyk has every chance to win the fight.
I have to say, speaking to him, I've been around him on numerous fight weeks. Sometimes you can see him a bit agitated. This week, he's almost like a zen-like, but focused. Do you think that gives him an edge if he's coming in like that?
He looked nervous last night. But I think that's a good thing, right? Not nervous, edgy. That's a good thing. He would have been edgy against Klitschko. That was an unbelievable performance. He would have been edgy against Wilder. That was an unbelievable performance. He wasn't edgy against Ngannou. It was a poor performance. He probably wasn't edgy against Schwartz or Wallin or... so that's when you're going to get the best Tyson Fury. I actually think he'll box very defensively in this fight. I think he'll box similar to how he boxed against Klitschko. And I think Usyk will be the aggressor. The one thing you've got to be careful of is the volume punching of Alexander Usyk. You can't just box off the back foot and pot shot, a dozen punches around, whatever, while Usyk's coming in, throwing punches from angles. So you've got to switch up your game plan in this fight. And that's what Alexander Usyk does very well in fights. I mean, if you look at what Usyk did in the second fight against AJ in rounds 10, 11, 12, I thought he was done in the fight. And he just came out like a train in the championship rounds and was the aggressor after being hurt and won all those rounds to win the fight. So he's a very clever, smart fighter.
Speaking to people in the build-up to this, everyone's saying, no, we're definitely going to get this rematch no matter what happens. But surely Anthony Joshua's here ringside. If Tyson Fury does a job on Alexander Usyk with the funds they've got out here, can you not foresee a scenario where whatever happens, Joshua's next?
Every time I say that, Fury will come back and say, no, Usyk's got, and that is contractual, right? So actually, that is going to happen, unless, look, the reality is, if Tyson Fury wins on Saturday, the entire world is going to say, make the fight, AJ against Tyson Fury. And His Excellency has a trend and a big passion for delivering fights that the fans want. And there will never be a fight in greater demand than Fury against Anthony Joshua. But contracts are contracts, and that's the plan. So let's see what happens Saturday night.
Does he still need to fight Anthony Joshua to say he's the best of this era, even if he beats Alexander Usyk? I spoke to Shane Fury, he said he doesn't care.
On paper, probably not. But for the fans and for ultimate legacy, yes.
Chris Eubank Jr. woke up this morning, Twitter going off. having a pop at you over the Conor Benn stuff. He's a free agent now, so even though you've been giving a bit of stick.
Listen, I had a chat with him the other day in the gym. I told him, I don't know what the fuck you're doing with your career, but you are clueless. You
said this to him, did you?
Yeah, I said, what are you doing? I said, you got the Conor Benn fight. It's an absolute fortune. You don't know what you're doing. And he posted that about Gervonta Davis. As I said earlier, the reality is we don't make decisions if fights are on or off. Contractually, that's decided by the commission, the governing body. That's the British Boxing Board of Control. When they pulled the fight for Conor Benn, the fight was off. He wanted the fight when he knew about the test. And when the fight was off, he asked for £1 million to keep the fight on. There's so much hypocrisy in boxing. It's a load of bollocks. But at the end of the day, it's life.
But that fight can't happen now anyway in the UK because Conor said...
It's not in the UK, but it can still happen. And eventually, in a matter of time, it will be happening. And that time will be soon. So, if I'm Chris Eubank Jr, I'm queuing up for that fight.
Is Conor going before the board now because of this?
There's a legal case going on at the moment, and we hope it'll be resolved.
How quickly, then? Because we've been going on for
It's 2 years next week since the test. I'd like to see the same energy from all these other people that are failing drugs tests.
Absolutely. Gervonta Davis, we were in Vegas the other week, referenced you as a snake in a suit, said we just don't trust him, and he referenced the Dillian White situation and everyone, and he went through it all at the Dillian White situation.
I see Ellie Snakeback, who said, oh, what about Dillian White? Yeah, Dillian White had a trial before the fight and got cleared by UCAD to fight, right? I'm not a governing body, I'm not a trial and jury. For Conor Benn, he said, Eddie Hearn wanted him to fight. No, we presented the test to the board for them to make a decision. These guys, Gervonta Davis is clueless. He listens to people who have got agendas and he can't make his own mind up on stuff because he just doesn't understand. And here's what it is. Good luck.
Last one, Shakur Stevenson, free agent. I know you were in the game of signing good fighters. He's someone who's on your radar you were looking to do work business with.
Shakur Stevenson, one of the greatest fighters in the world, should be a superstar. If he becomes available, I'd love to talk to him.
Eddie, I appreciate your time.